and I am going to create a fictional league, and I'm just going to walk through some of the steps that it takes to create a fictional league, and it's one that has just a couple of different parameters. Like there's not a lot to go through. I played some games already on the beta on Tuesday. I made my adjustments for that, so let's fire up this league. And with this league, I have the ability to. I have a website. I own OOTP.biz, so I host my fictional league on there, just so if I'm at my office board at work, I can see how my favorite fictional players are doing. My favorite fictional player, obviously, being Roy Brooks of the Boston Red Sox, the first pick in the inaugural 1999 draft. All right. So anyway, let us go to new custom game. So if you want to do a custom game, if you want to do a fictional league, you can new custom game. Challenge mode, you can read through challenge mode on your own. I don't do challenge mode because it just installs some parameters that I don't need. So the important part here when creating a fictional league is before you create a fictional league, you want to go to the advanced mode. You should enter a game name. This will be Stream League, we'll call it. Because I guess I don't know. I do have an online league idea that is going to be heavy on user participation. So I haven't worked it out yet. I still need to figure out some of the details. I also need to design some graphics and the website and everything for it. So that'll be coming soonishly, hopefully. I just got to figure out a bunch of stuff behind the scenes. All right, enter starting year. I am going to go. I always start mine at 1999. Just so it will give you the league settings. You can ask for the league settings from those years, and 1999 is a very hitter-heavy year. But the reason why I use it is just because it looks good when it shows up on stats. So you see 1999. So to me, it's like -1. 2000 is the year 0, and then 2001 is really when everything kicks off. And it's also that it kind of like it gives me 2 years to feel stuff out. So when testing with settings and just messing around and everything, so that's why I kind of like that, because it just makes it look like it's like a beta year and then like a year 0 and stuff. So all right, so that's the create game tab. So we're just gonna go left to right and start with everything so you can see it. And so then you can, so if we need to add a new league, we're gonna add we're gonna do the league creation wizard here. And I think this is where you're supposed. Oh no, that's wrong. Okay, so we're not going to do that yet. All right, so let's go to settings. So scouting accuracy, I just keep that on normal. I let I have my trust in the game. There was a long time out of the park where you had to disable scouts because it just would screw everything up. Scouting report updates. So you can do monthly during the season, bi-monthly, season start and end. So I do bi-monthly because as often as I can get it, I would prefer it. Keep all reports, or you can just keep it per season or whatever. So we'll just keep that. Reports of retired players, I will keep all reports. If you got enough storage, then go for it. So for I have not done it yet just because the game came out today, but I always take my previous year's games and then move it to my, in this case, the D drive, which is just my, it's got the 4 terabyte drive, so it's just not on the SSD. Current ratings, so rating scale is going to be at 20 to 80, just because I would prefer that. When I first started playing the game in Season Ticket Baseball 2003, I used 1 to 5. No, that's a lie. I used 1 to 10. Eventually, I got a little crafty, and I decided to bump it up to 1 to 20. And then somewhere along the line, I was like, well, since scouts actually use a 20 to 80 scale, I'm going to use that too. So I use the 20 to 80 scale for everything. So current ratings, potential ratings, and other ratings, which I assume means fielding and stuff. Show ratings max. So I cut it off. You can, if you want to. I don't think it's fair because I think baseball is a game of human error. So I do believe that you should not be able to see. Someone, if there's a guy who's in a 20 to 80 scale, it measures out at 100, like he is just, he's 1.25 times better than the rest of the population in hitting it. Like, let's just leave him at an 80, and let's just, because he's going to fluctuate and everything. So it adds the human element to it. And, since we are playing a simulation game, any degree of human element that you can add into it, faults and stuff, I think is good and only makes the experience better for you. So that's why I don't go above that. Star ratings, I'll use stars. I've never used anything other than stars. I just like the stars. It's a good, quick, dashboard kind of like visual for you. Allow player rating. All player ratings are displayed relative to the current selected league. So that one, I don't love this one. I like to just see what a guy's current rating is. So if I'm going to uncheck that, because I want to know. Let's see. Oh, wait a second. No, that's wrong. You check it off because they're all going to be relative to my league, which will eventually be established as a major league. Because otherwise, then if you had a guy in low A ball who's tearing it up in low A ball, you will see that he has a 70 rating, but that's relative to his league. So we need to be relative to our league, which if we're doing an MLB caliber league, we don't want to see guys who are 70s. Excuse me. Because we'll think that they're ready for the big time, but they're 70 in A-ball. So, okay. Overall ratings based on all players and not positions. So again, you can relativity. If you want a player's rating to be isolated to just second baseman, and so the best second baseman in the league will have like basically it obscures their ratings. So I don't like to see that. So let me also just move myself over here. All right, and then if I'm going to do that, I have to do. How do you transform? Crazy. All right. So now we're professional again. All right. So next we have use coaching system. Yes, I'll use that. I'll enable the owner goals, which, as unrealistic as they are, a lot of owners, like, think of you were doing a football sim, Daniel Snyder, right there. All his goals would be completely unrealistic, so it's not worth doing. All right, let's see. So I do want face gen created because I don't want blank images. I want all my players to have faces. Create players on demand, so it won't. If you never click on a guy and he never appears in a game that you're playing in, you'll never see him. So you'll never see his face, and the game won't generate a JPEG or a PNG file for him. And that way, it'll just add. It takes away whatever 13 KB on your hard drive. Update players, face gen pictures always. So if a guy gets traded, it'll update him. So if he moves from the Cards to the Phillies, then you're going to get that new Phillies image with him. Or you can just hold off and do it every year. I don't see any value in not doing it right away because it would look silly. Like no one likes it when you get a baseball card and it's like it says he plays on the Blue Jays, but he's on the Reds. All right. Let's see. Same thing for personnel. We'll just all personnel. We'll get photos because why not? Oh, here's a fun thing that I like to do. So with the coaches are kind of useless and stuff. So what I like to do is I like to take the coaches and or I like to take retired players and turn them into coaches often, and then I'll sign them to low level deals, and we'll see how they pan out. Just kind of gives you a little bit extra use for retired players. I tend to use star players so that they have a legacy and it continues over and again. It adds a little extra. There's it adds a little extra human component to the game that in my fictional league, Kurt Hull was the greatest hitter of all time, and then I immediately signed his ass to be the hitting coach at Pawtucket. So I just threw him in at AAA, and he is actually developing into a star coach, and he's only in his late 40s now. So he's going to be with the squad for a while, and manager is getting up there in age. So there could be some time where he takes over at the big league level for actually the manager and not just the hitting coach. So anyway. Enable injuries. Yes, I'm going to enable injuries because this is where the fun part comes in, because the fictional league that I am going to create for us is going to be it's a very isolated kind of roster. It's going to be 40-man rosters on each team, and then no transactions. So everyone is kind of like stuck in that. No transactions during the season. In the off season, there'll be trades and stuff. So I think it'll just be trades. I don't think we're going to have any sort of free agency system. So like, it won't be really about compensation. It'll just be about, you know, how well players do. So, and again, that's also where the 1999 comes in, because that's like my -1 year. So if it just sucks, and the total first year is just a total like poopy parade, which is the censored version of shit show for you at home. If it just doesn't work out, then, you know, we'll move on and we can make some settings, and then it looks like 1999 is a completely different year. I digress. Okay. Injury frequency is OOTP classic, high, realistic, modern day, very high. So in this thing, I just want it to be normal. Like, modern day is good, but like, I don't, like, in my experience, so I don't know if this is different. I haven't looked, like, certain settings I haven't toyed with in years because I keep doing my same league. I play out every game, and it's like, it's about excuse me, I think that's the 19th season right now. So I'm just going to leave that as this. Delayed injury diagnosis occasionally, because that's good. It's adds more realism to it. Hard injury rating. No, I'll see that. So, like, you know, if a guy is prone to being injured, like, that's not something that's going to take away from the realism of the game. Position player fatigue will be average. Enables suspensions, of course. Like, in a Suavecast run league, you're gonna have some seedy guys who can, like, kind of got in there. Suspension frequency, should we go very high? Maybe we'll do very high. You know, here we go. This is where the fun part comes in. This is where you can do what you want and really add your own brand of stank to the game. So I highly recommend, if you have a weird idea that you think is silly or whatever, just go for it. What the heck, you know? You know, worst case scenario, explosions. Best case scenario, you have fun and you love it. So, hey, come on. All right, so now moving on through, where are we? Ratings, blah, blah, blah. Very high suspensions. Yes, that's correct. So, next we're going to have player personality settings. We'll use them, so they'll have greed, loyalty, adaptability, leader, etc. I am very high on those. I do not draft players who are dicks, so there will be no Dick Bokelmans on my team. Like, I have in the past, I was like, well, that guy's impossible to sign, but he's a first round talent left over in the 10th round. You know what that means? That means compensatory pick next year for me, because it doesn't mean that, because I drafted him too late. So anyway, we'll stay away from those jerks. We'll use the morale system, because again, it's adding to realism. Show player personality ratings on profile page. Yes, I don't know why we wouldn't want to show that. That's like, you have to toggle that anyway, so it's like not visible by default. You have to toggle it with the contract. I forget what you have to toggle it. Show player nicknames. Sure. Use team chemistry system. So this is a new thing right now. That they're not a new thing, but they worked on the team chemistry component of the game, I believe, in the off season. So I think that is kind of like, again, this season is all about like the 3D imaging and stuff. There's not a lot of like surface level glam to the other elements of the game, but there are a lot of behind the scenes improvements from what I was reading about. So hopefully, like when I say surface level glam, I would mean like when they added the Hall of Fame feature, that was like kind of something that was very tangible, and you could, like, now you have the Hall of Fame voting every year, so that's pretty cool. So this, though, is a lot of under the hood. Like, the trade AI was something that they were very outspoken about, that they've worked hard on, which has been a difficult situation for a lot of people, because it kind of, like, it wasn't useless, but you really had to, like, you had to like fudge some stuff and everything. Anyway, okay. So player development settings. So we are just going to keep that at 1. That means that your players and pitchers will develop and age at a standard, normal, typical aging rate. So some people are going to get, flame out earlier. Some people are going to, develop later in life, etc. So you can, if you want like a 19-year-old to really kind of like, blossom, or if you have a whole league of young kids and you want them to like kind of, go nuts, then you can, you would jack the aging speed up. So it would like, so it's measured in times, so like multiplication. So if you do a batting aging speed of twice, they'll go twice. 2.000, they'll go double the speed of which they normally would. Disable player development, no, because we don't want to. That's good for, I believe, historical leagues use disable player development, because if you're going to be importing rosters from year to year, so if you play the 1947 MLB season and then want to play the 1948, you're going to import new players, and you don't want everyone to go all. You don't want guys to get too far from what their actual real life, their IRL counterpart was. So that's why you would disable that. And disable development for draft eligible players. So no, I want my rookies to also have the ability to mature. So delete those who never reached the major leagues. I would never click that in a million years. I love doing the deep dives. So especially for my team. So again, in my fictional league, it's fictional players, major league setup. I coach the Red Sox, and I'm the GM of it as well. And I love just going back in there. I love going down, 10 years and seeing who did I draft in the 22nd round. And it's like, oh yeah, that guy. I wonder what happened to him. And then I see that I released him the next season. And then lo and behold, 4 years later, he had a 16 ERA with the Houston Astros. Congratulations, buddy. But those are the fun things that I like to, I like to have the ability to, just rely back on. And I feel like I'm missing out. I don't keep splits when I progress from year to year, because that just takes, you leave your computer and you go on a short vacation and come back and it's 40% of the way through. So that just takes forever. So that's why I don't do that. So again, that's what the splits section are right here, the new one. That was funny. I didn't actually mean to do that, but lo and behold, it was next. Global coefficient, financial. So I'm just going to keep that at 1. That's real world dollars. I am in the United States of America, so I will use the dollar symbol. All right, so player evaluation settings for the AI. So I kind of leave these at the default setting. So it's just ratings, current year stats, previous year stats weight, and 2 years ago stats weight. So that's like, that seems pretty straightforward and realistic to me. So your ratings weight is what your scout said, is what he thinks, so that's good. Then you have the current stats, so if a guy's blowing up, guys who are blowing up usually get traded for, so that's good. Previous years, again, if someone had an off season last season, then maybe they'll still bounce back, so they're all good. Trading difficulty. So now this one has a lot more options than I recall, because it used to just be like, now it looks like a 10-point scale. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so it's a 10-point scale now. So the problem is that, so it was always like very hard and it was definitely favor prospects, because the game would screw you. So I'm just gonna estimate here. It's a little difficult to know right offhand, because it is, like I said, it is new, so we'll just do that. All right, lineup selection is sabermetrics so this is for the AI, so I want my opponents to favor sabermetrics, because that way I feel like they'll be doing more. They won't, like, a traditional lineup doesn't always work, in my opinion, so I think is, like, when you have random ass guys, like, who was the most was it Aaron Judge? Like, when Aaron Judge, well, she's a good example anyway. When Aaron Judge hits in the 2 slot, like, you would think that's a 4 slot, that's a cleanup hitter type right there, but no, he's hitting in the 2 slot in real life, because that's what the sabermetrics would say. Autosave, once a year. What is that? Once a month? Yeah, sure. We'll do this once a year. Save box scores. I don't save any box scores just to free up space. It's a lot of HTML files that are generated for it. So generate game recaps. I don't need game recaps. So you know what? Actually, generate. No. Nah. Oops. What did I just clicked off something that got rid of everything. So back to. Oh, here we go. Okay, so generate graphs. Nah, I'm just gonna play it easy. I don't need to go too in depth. Save game logs, none. Generate highlights, none. I don't know why it keeps bumping up. This isn't my first stream with a USB mic, so my XLR one shit the bed. So if you keep hearing the mouse wheel click, then the USB mic is doing its job. So, all right, save 3D movements from, save 3D movements. So I don't know what that one specifically means, but we're going to go none because we can always go unnone. All right, so keep injury logs. So keep injury logs is, yes, we'll keep that actually, because that, and keep transaction logs. Yeah, we'll do keep transaction logs. Keep news logs. We don't need that. All right, so that's everything there in the settings tab. So again, it's a little lengthy, but whatever. It's important to go through because again, if you're creating a fictional league, you're going to want everything custom to your specs, and you're not going to want to. You're going to like it. It's a pain in the ass to start everything and then be like, oh fuck, I should have changed that, and then. Oh well. All right, advanced, you can, if you have a saved template, you can advance that. And then these things, let's see. So I want all the cities. So this is going to be a less cities will be loaded. I think so. This is a fictional league, so I think, but we want more. We want more high-profile cities. So like. I'm just gonna have that. All right, so let's see. So these are kind of you have to specify where everything is. So default only. So yeah. So I'm just gonna leave. If you had a specific folder, so like in yours, if you wanted to follow, like you had custom logos and everything, and they're all saved in your OOTP 21 folder, you could then specify that directory. I'm not gonna mess with that. All right, so now we have. All right, so am I supposed to? Yeah. So now, okay. So again, so very important to. Let's go to the. We need to go to the Create Game tab, I believe. What was it? No, it was. Add new league. Okay. So again. And then we go to the league creation widget. So again, very important when creating a fictional league, you must. Before creating the fictional league, you have to create the advanced mode down here at the bottom. So just always do that. So now we will create the fictional league. All right, so we are going to use so this is where you can specify what kind of league you're gonna have. So I'm going to do something funky. I'm just gonna have one sub-league and with one division, and I think I will do so I would like to do 10 teams. How do I do 10 teams? So is that not possible because of like scheduling issues or whatever? So if that's the case, that's fine. So I'm going to do one division, and we might be able, yeah, so teams, okay, so there it is. All right, so I'm going to do a 10-team league. It's going to be 40-man rosters, and we'll see how it goes there. So, okay, so one sub-league, so my league is the Stream League is the name of the league. So the sub league, so do the league name, I'm just going to do it in baseball terms, is Major League Baseball. The sub league, a sub league is the American League, for example. A division is the AL East. So that's what a division is, and then a team is the Boston Red Sox, for example. All right, so we're going to do that. I am going to drop it down just by clicking the do not enter symbol. So we have 10 teams. That's what I want. You can select a prefab thing here on the right, So if you want to have a specific league, if you want to get all honky ball on me, you can do the Dutch league, etc. So that's all we have to do here. So now we have our league identity kind of formed, and we're going to click next step. So again, just to recap, one sub league. In this instance, it would be like only having the American League. So baseball would have two sub leagues. You can see here. So we'll just here. So Major League Baseball is a league, two sub leagues. That means American League and National League. 3 divisions each. So you have the AL East, Central, and West, NL East, Central, and West, and then you have 30 teams and 13 minor leagues. So let's see. Should we? I think we add the. Am I right that we add the minor league system later? We're not going to have one though, so who cares? All right, we're clicking next. I believe it is going to auto-generate team names for us. Yes. Okay. So let's just take a look at what they generated for us. So okay. So first off, selected minor leagues. So we are not going to have any minor leagues. So, because again, I'm playing like a kind of a hot shot, ridiculous situation. So I don't want I'm going to focus on that roster, and we're going to have those guys in there. All right. So the league name is Stream League. And then obviously SL for the abbreviation. It's going to be at a major league level. You can pick whatever you want it to be. If you're playing in a vacuum, and so unless you're from friggin' Harrisburg and that's all you care about is what is Harrisburg, AA. All you care about is AA baseball, then you can pick there at that level. But I'm going to do major league because it's relative to nothing. So I'd rather have I'm much more interested in the major leagues, so in MLB. So I'd rather have everything kind of mimic that in a way. All right, so let's see what we got for team names here. We got the New York Red Claws, the Brooklyn Aggies, the Philadelphia River Otters. That's a good name, huh? That'd be more like a Pittsburgh thing, but anyway. The Jacksonville Bonnies. It should be the Jacksonville Juggernauts, and then the Columbus Juggernauts. Indianapolis Sun Devils, the Chicago Ducks, Houston Dingoes, San Diego Thundercats. All right, so I'm kind of thinking I'm going to randomize a couple of times. So if you don't like what happened, you can. So I'm going to randomize the cities first. And oddly enough, it gave us the same nicknames. It just... All right, so here's more... What, a Phoenix Swordsman. Watch out for them. The Brooklyn Blue Hens. All right, so that's a beautiful name. The Jacksonville Gold Miners. Yeah. Detroit Angels. Not such a thing exists, my friend. Chicago Mammoth. The Houston Odyssey. Whew. Dallas Hurricanes. The San Antonio Biplanes, or Biplanes, if you're a Bip Roberts guy. All right, so in the Los Angeles Legion. So I think we got some pretty good names here. So I'm pretty happy with all this. So we have, again, after that, you need to specify the sub-league name. Mine is not going to really have one because, like, I don't know. Well, if you can leave it blank, and I believe it just omits it and looks past it. So let's just try that. Everyone's from the U.S. Okay, so that's good. So we have 10 teams. We like it. Playing all over the place, so we're not going to worry about travel. We can be unrealistic in that. All right, so select standard settings. So my league starts in 1999, so I want to select 1999 settings, and because that's like I still want to mimic what made the baseball was at the time, so we're going to do that. And then I am also going to check off to automatically adjust the league strategy, because that is going to push us to, so in the next year, it'll be 2000, and then I'll have 2000 settings. So that will, sorry, one sec, I just got a notice here. All right, so that'll have 2000 settings, because so when you check that, it'll keep going. I assume that once you get to the modern day, so if you're playing in the year 2136, I have to assume if you have this box checked off, it's going to continue to give you 2021 type settings. So Players choose if you want to hold an inaugural draft. So we're going to hold an inaugural draft. I'm going to have to then specify a team, I guess, that I want to be on. So I'm going to take over. I'll manage a team here, and that'll be my guys, and then we will, we'll figure it out from there. So the number of games, so it's going to be 162 games. So maybe we should do 50-man rosters, because my other thing only has, my other league that I do this with doesn't do, we'll figure that out. All right, so it'll be 162 games, so we can get professional stats. But again, it's probably going to be, I don't know what the AI managed teams are going to do, but it's going to definitely be, it's going to produce some wonky numbers, but that's part of the fun of everything. All right, so we are ready to go. And you know what? I'm going to go previous step. We're going to do select typical length is going to be 5 games. So that means like if you're using a 5-man rotation, you get everyone. I think that's what our league is going to be like, It's a little different. It's a little fun. All right, so we'll still keep it at 162 so we can have just a regular, so our stats, like if a guy hits 30 home runs, that's like a 30 home runs in the major leagues. All right, we are going back through these numbers again. Scouting is normal. We're going to go 20 to 80 on our rating scale because that's what we like. That's what scouts actually use. Player pictures, all pictures, and face gen is just going to be normal. And then, so it's like if you're an old-timey league, you can do, color wasn't invented until like the 50s, so everything in the world is black and white until then. Just ask your grandmother. And then here is a big thing. Always turn off enable automatic evolution of the league unless you want the AI to just dick around and F over all of your hard work. So, because they'll take your team, your New York franchise that has a huge market, and they'll just move that bad boy right down to, I don't know, to some goofy ass town, to York, Maine, and just screw everything up. So uncheck automatic. That's where you get the chick from. Automatic. Check. Uncheck enable automatic evolution of the league. You'll be happy. If you want to play with these unforeseen random parameters, then go for it. You're gonna get an expansion team, 2 expansion teams every year, and I want a 10-team league. Straightforward. I don't want anyone messing with it. All right. Stream League, 1999. Autosave once a year. First name Suave, last name Cast. American. Date of birth, sure, male. Your role is general manager, because I'm gonna do everything. I'm just gonna sim games in this league, but play in commissioner mode, yes, because if I need to make any changes, I don't like it. This isn't me. This is I'm streaming. If I'm gonna stream this league, I don't want it to be too constricting. So I want to be able to have some all the control that I need, and I can do it offline and etc. It won't be for cheating purposes. If you're the kind of person who wants to cheat yourself in this game, then commissioner mode is the mode for you. But also if you need the ability to make changes and stuff, etc. If you're trying to, like me, who is trying to do a realistic league, my fictional player major league, I update the minor leagues and everything, and it's going to be a shit show and a half this year with all the new minor league changes. But so enabling commissioner mode is going to be good for you. All right, we are getting to the end here, folks. All right, so select your team. Now is the time. So I live in Boston, so we don't have a Boston team. So I'm not particular to anyone here, but I'm kind of eyeballing the Brooklyn Blue Hens because that just sounds kind of cool to say. So let's just get a quick look here. So normally if you're doing a major league setup, you're going to be doing your own team, whoever you like in real life. So I'm going to go with the Blue Hens just because that sounds good and I can have some fun with that. All right, so we are starting the game. So that's everything it is to a fictional lineup for now. There are still things we have to do en masse before we hop into everything. And that is going to be the next part of the stream, because you can't just start going in on it. Otherwise, it's going to give you these things that you don't like. So, all right. So again, I wanted to have a league where, let me just, I'm going to move myself back here for now. And I am then going to magic do that. All right. So I don't get to play the sound effect or not, but I don't know if it came through. It sounded very, very soft. Anyway, it probably just went through in my headphones, and everyone was like, "Why is he drooling?" All right. So, okay. So now here is the manager's office. Great. We're not going to deal with this yet. We need to go straight into the league settings so that we can make sure and schedule everything that we want to. All right. So here, I am not going to go through every goddamn setting in the world here. So let's just, let me just check here and see. Yeah. Okay. So I have no players. So we are holding a, we are doing a fantasy draft. Inaugural draft is up on the screen here. So that is what's going to happen first. So that's good. So everything is going according to plan. Look at the Blue Hens logo, huh? Dude, I might have to get me a jersey when this is all over. All right. So first off, so expand league and schedule the expansion draft. No, we haven't done the inaugural draft yet, so don't get confused by that one. So schedule the fantasy draft. It has been scheduled for us. So if you are, so when we checked off inaugural draft, that's what happened. I do a cool thing in my fictional league. So I mentioned earlier that I have a fictional league with a kind of a test league. This is kind of mimicking a bit. They have a working agreement with the Major League Baseball that they are allowed to draft any free agent with Major League experience onto their team, and then MLB can then purchase those players. So it's kind of cool. So I do schedule a fantasy draft in that league, and that's what that's used for. Sorry, I lied. It's a schedule a free agent draft is what I use. Delete this league. Don't do that unless you want to delete this league. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. So if you don't like what happened, and you're like, fuck, like I only played one game, but I forgot to do something majorly important, you can reset everything you want to. As far as I know, the player logs will still have it in the text file. So if you are to go into like see documents out of the park 21 and everything, and then just keep drilling down, eventually you can see that it'll still have that information there. So you can manually delete it if you want to, but don't worry about that. All right, we're getting a little in depth here. So here are all your editors. So these are important for the aesthetics. So you can edit your 3D ballpark construction kit. I am not going to jump into that right now because I have not touched it myself. Edit ballparks, so you can edit the just the heights and everything of the fences. You can do everything that you need to. Edit league structure. This one is what we created initially. So this is more for as your league has progressed to a certain point. So 3 years in, you want to created 2 divisions now, so you have the one, but you want 2 fivers, then you can do that in this screen. The league schedule, you can edit that. If you mess around with the schedule at all, you always have to go to actions, generate fictional schedule, and that after you're done, and that way it will, because there's errors that people can run into if you don't do that. So that's very, very important. Generate fictional schedule upon when you're done messing around with everything. So I'm just going to keep these defaulting to what they're supposed to be. Edit, so you can upload your own logo. This one's crap, so I'll make a logo for this at some point. I have average to slightly above average skills. So there's also like Eric Jaffe has the there's 2 people. There's I forget what the other guy who made the actual application's name is. Shoot, sorry. But there's the logo and uniform and cap creators that you can use. There's an online version, and then there's a utility, like a downloadable version as well, that 2 members of the forums have created over time. So they're both excellent. Roster functions, so you can run computer manager on all teams. I have selected the Brooklyn Blue Hens, so the AI is going to be on every team but that. Clear rosters. Fill teams with fictional players. If you want to do that, you can. My fantasy draft will have enough players so that I won't need to do that. So I'll schedule how many rounds I want my inaugural fantasy draft to be, and that way I will not then need to fill it with fictional players. You can release everyone, fill all your coaches, set all teams to not allow AI roster changes. So this is a big one for this league, because this is my league that I want. I don't want anything's happening. So now it says operation complete. No teams in the league allow any AI roster moves. So that's important, because I want to draft I think we're going to go 50-man rosters. And if you get hurt, you're just kind of like pushed to the side. So then you have 49 players to draw from. And then, so it acts as like this just a giant silly situation. But again, I don't want any trades. We're not going to allow any transactions. Okay, so I can set all teams to be controlled by me. Fire all human managers. So we don't want that. So there is still other. So I think it's when we get into the options tab, it'll have trading and stuff. So financial functions, assign fictional financials to team. So I'm just going to click this because they all got something off the bat, and we're just going to make sure to re-randomize it. I don't have to. Again, it's a fictional league, so I'm not too concerned. So if I'm also going to probably, like, I don't think we're going to do financials in this. I think it's going to be trade only. So like the inaugural draft here is going to be like key, because you have to get your guys that way, and then you can make trades, but you can't. There's going to be no free agency. So yes, we'll just do that, because it's not going to really matter so much. Recalculate team financials. So that one is not applicable right here, because I don't have a team, so there's no payroll to adjust. Fictional contracts, sure, but the team will also assign fictional contracts. And then you can import, if you have templates saved through, I don't know what they are, like through text files, then you can do it. And here's some just other functions. Okay, so that's the boring stuff. We've gotten through the boring stuff. If you are still with me, thank you. I appreciate that, because we're now getting into the good stuff. Leagues and teams is the next tab. We've already done most of this. The only thing here is you can edit the logo again from a different spot. And let's see, level name, blah blah blah. The only region is United States. It's just the United States, so we don't need to specify region. There is no affiliated league. This kind of lives on its own. League reputation is 10 maximum. There's no need to, like, again, since this is the only league in the game, I doubt that the number will have any sort of impact, but let's keep it at the highest level just so we can do that. Edit the league structure. If you want to do that, it's going to take you back to the names tab that we created originally, so we don't need that. So here we have all of our teams. That's fine. Next, we're going into the rules. So here's some fun stuff. So Stream League, designated hitter rule. So now you ask yourself, do I want the designated hitter? I'm going to say no, because with such vast rosters, I want more pinch hitting and more defensive subs and crap. Reliever, minimum batter faced. This league is only going to have one person. We're not going to make it two, because that's fine with it. Modified extra innings, so you can do spring games only. I guess, let me see if you can then set your own rules. How do you set your own rules, or is it just... So we're not going to have any modified rules at this point in time. Maybe we'll change it, but, for now. Active roster size, very big. 50 players. The maximum, I believe, is that the maximum? Yes, so 50 players is the maximum. Again, we're not doing minor leagues. We're not doing transactions, with the exception of off-season trading. So we'll do that. Reserve roster size is, so here's a sticking point for me that it's always, like, the reserve roster has always effed you over, in my opinion. So in theory, I should not have to specify this, but I'm going to specify it at 5 just because there are problems associated with it. So, like, it's always, so when you specify, here's the problem is that when you specify a reserve roster number, the AI has a tendency to drop, like, to sign and trade people, like, and pardon my French, willy-nilly here. So, like, they really just go shithouse on you, and you'll see, oh my god, when I first created that fictional league of mine that has similar rules to this, fucking, there was, like, one guy got, like, cut and traded, like, 20 times in a day, and it's all, like, you know, all I'm doing is click finish day, and, like, then I go to his profile, like, randomly, and I'm like, oh, you suck because no one likes you. Yes, they do like you. No, they don't. It was just, it was torturous. So I'm setting the reserve roster size at 5 for now. I'm hoping that is enough to, because I've also noted that there are some problems with, like, in my other league, there's still guys that get snuck onto the reserve roster. I don't know friggin' how. I'm just gonna, we've had talks about that. It's a known issue that the reserve roster don't give a shit about you or your mama. So, all right. Expanded roster size, it's probably going to take away the call up date. Yeah, that's what I think it does. So I'm going to do none because we don't have it. No, it does. Expanded roster size now is useless. So international complex player. So I'll just go down to 15. Hopefully it won't happen. I don't have the issue where in my other league where they find it. So spring training roster size is 50 players. Active roster player age, I'm not going to touch those. That's fine. Foreign players, no limit. Battered, injured list, we are going to disable that because they're just going to stand on the side. So there's no need to, we don't have an IR. Like, you're just not playing. You're sitting there on the team making jokes. Hopefully you got your mask on, fella, because you're going to be sitting idle there and you might catch something. All right. So allow trades with other teams. So that is, let's see. So here's the problem, I guess, with this concept, because I wanted to only have trades during the off season. So unfortunately, I would have to enable that on the first day of the off season every year. And I do have a note from my other game. You can create notes, and those notes will allow you to be like, oh yes, I was supposed to schedule a free agent draft. And so I'm debating, you know what, we're gonna disable trading for right now. And so you see, when you disable trading, it's gonna kick out everything. So, like, I kind of want these rules in place, but so allow trades with other major leagues, that doesn't exist. So let's just see here if we can disable. Okay, so here, this is big. Disable automatic creation of free agents. I don't want free agents coming into the league. Everything's going to be managed through the draft. All right, so the draft will have to be in the off season, otherwise it's going to get screwy. So the draft will be December 1st. Because I think that's a good time. So, and we'll try to make, again, there's not going to be any free agency. So, but we still want it in the off season if we're playing 162 games. So, just these are, like, that's why, like, it's so, like, you should be writing this shit down. If you have a fictional league in mind, like, go on the boards, talk it out. Other people will be happy to give you feedback or stuff like that. But it's important to, you kind of work through this, and, you know, because there's the opportunity to make a mistake is very present. So anyway, so we're going to cancel trading for the time being. We're going to cancel trading. The AI cannot make transactions, and I won't. You have my word, I will not make transactions. So now we've gotten it to where our rosters are going to stick at that 50-man roster, and it's just going to be that 50-man roster now because there's no trading, there's no AI moves, there's no injury list, and I have my word. No, you got my word. I'm not going to do anything. So, okay, amateur draft. So this league, players are going to come and go, so we have to have an amateur draft. So what does that mean for... So I don't know what that means yet because with the strict rules here, it's going to create a reserve roster, I guess. So I don't know. So we're still going to have a draft. That, luckily, because we're pushing it out to December, it's not going to conflict with the current season, etc. All right. So amateur draft is going to be 5 rounds. So we'll include a play. So maybe we might want to make the players younger. I don't know. We'll figure it out. These are the percentages of high school students versus college students. So blah blah blah. Amateur draft is going to be revealed 200 days prior. So like anyone who's a scout 200 days prior you're gonna have a pretty good idea who's gonna be in that draft anyway. So enable advanced draft signing. No, we're gonna take away that because financials are not gonna have a role in this one. So financials, I don't think this matters because I've turned everything off, so it's fine. We'll come back to that. So again, this is financial setup summary and projections, so we need to come back for that. So again, there's a lot of back and forth with making sure that you get your league up and running the proper way. So, but for now, we're just going to put that on hold. Again, here's so you can, if you want to, so it's 1999, so I can select 1999 financials to import off the bat. We did specify that in the initial creation. So when you see that there's like duplicates of things a lot, the duplicate is like, so the creating the initial financial league is one thing, and then you have the duplicates are kind of like after you've created the league, so you have the option to revisit those things. Okay, anyway, going into options, this is a fun one here. So again, we unchecked automatic evolution of the league because that just takes all your hard work and sticks it up your ass. Like we're doing hard work here, folks. This isn't like, this isn't amateur hour. This is Major League Baseball hour. So all right, so settings below apply when your league is pre-2020. So automatically adjust league strategy. So I am gonna do that. So the AI is gonna set a more like, as we get closer to the current day, they'll have pitchers will pitch, starting pitchers will go 2/3 of an inning before they're lifted, etc. So you can import adjusted financials after each year. That doesn't apply here. So you can see also the historical league starts at 1999, which I specified. Import settings, blah blah blah. We're not using financials, so we're all fine. Here I'm kind of blocking some of it, but this is just all the MVP, the award names. So we're gonna keep all that. You can see as we scroll down, so here's the milestones. I'm not gonna futz with the milestones yet, but this is I believe our second thing that we have to come back to now. So like so again, just after you then create the everything, then you'll have to make some changes. So again, we specified a lot of this stuff on the right here, but we're having a 162 game season, starts on in April. You can force start on a certain day for any reason if you want to. You can import, in the days of yore, you had to import your own schedule if you wanted any sort of like custom schedule. That's long since been fixed. We specified 5 game series so we can go a trip through the rotation or something. Use a balanced schedule. That is not going to be applicable in our league because it's one team, one division, so it should be balanced. Allow rainouts. Sure, it rains in real life. Schedule spring training. We're not going to schedule spring training. That's just, we're just going to go straight into these games. We don't need that. Let's see. You can disable the playoffs if you want to. I do not want to. I'm not sure why Oh, all-star game. We can't hold an all-star game when there's just one league. It's interesting. All right, and then custom playoffs. So here's your playoff matrix that you can create. So I have 10 teams in my league. So we are going to have 3 wild cards. So the top 4 teams will get to play. And you know what? We're going to do the top 5 teams. The first team gets a bye. How's that for snazzy? Men, remember, again, this is our own fictional league. We can do whatever we want. All right, so the first team, and so the 1 in 5, and then we're going to do the make sure seeding by winning percentage. So the first team then gets to face the shittiest team that snuck in there. And it's going to be the regular season regular playoff mode. Later round matchups are reorder by seed. That is what we're gonna do. We're gonna give whoever wins the regular season, you're getting the benefit, friends. So higher seed advantage. There is no advantage we're gonna play with. Wild card seeded lowest, correct? But they're all wild cards, so hopefully the game knows how to manage that. And we'll just use Major League style gaming here, just to keep it. Actually, you know what? I lied. So the first series is going to be a best of 1, then we'll do a best of 3, and then we'll do a best of 5. How about that? All right. So this is going to be like, a real big television event for everyone. All right. So that looks good to me. So I'm confirming that. So that's fun. Again, we're not, even though we're playing, we want to mimic Major League stats. We're having our own shit show. So, all right. Again, no spring training, disable the playoffs. Break ties with tiebreaker games. Yes, so someone will get to play the extra game. Customized playoffs, we just did that. Stagger series start dates between subleagues, sure. And so that just means that like your ALs would play and then your NLs would play the next day. Fixed series start dates, no. So, okay, so we are moving through again. So we only have, there's only 2 more tabs to go through up top here. So we're going to hit the player tab. And so created players age minimum is going to be, so it's going to be a 0, and created players age maximum, like for created players, so I want people to have lengthy careers. So anyone who's created moving forward is going to be 18 is the maximum age that they can be created. So everyone's going to be, they might get some 16-year-olds or whatever, but I think this also kind of would be cool for our fictional league here because everyone's going to be 18 no matter what at the most. So I guess should it be 22? So I don't know, because that would make it collegey. We'll make it 22. How about that? All right. Again, you can always come back to this. So after year 1, it may not be as great as you wanted to, but that's why, again, 1999, that key year for me, because this is really a test run. So, okay. So default player origin is, so here you can specify all the leagues you want to. Like this is fun to kind of mess with because you get some fun names and everything. Moving forward, maybe we'll do that, but like I'm gonna lose people if they if I start going into the nitty-gritty. Amateur draft pool, it's the same situation. You can specify your percentages. I wonder if I mess this up, I wonder if the game calculates it. I'm not going to find out because I don't want to F up all my hard work. All right, generate international free agents. So we're not generating free agents. Everything is going to be through our fictional draft. International scouting discoveries, none. Generate international established free agents, none. Generate free agents from independent leagues, none. And then here we have our creation modifier. So this is how I believe this is based off of our settings. So being that it's 1999, so I think that's what those are. All right, so we're just going to leave those for now. And now stats detail, we want very high detail. We're all about stats here. Historical year, select which year to import. It's going to import 1999. Automatically do it for the next year. So this means next season we'll go to 2000, excuse me. All right, so rotation size, we're going to go 6-man rotation in this. I know it's a 5-game series, but we're going to go 6-man rotation now. Starting rotation mode is, generally speaking, we'll do a strict rotation, occasionally highest rested, because otherwise it'll skip over the 6-man in a lot of instances. Default starters in relief. Default starters in relief. So that means that starting pitchers can pitch in relief, I assume. So yes, we would want that. Number of relievers in non-DH league, we want... So again, we're making a screwball league here. So we want at least 15 relievers, right? And then number of position players in a no DH league, we kind of want 30 probably. So, oh wait, no. So number of relievers needs to go down to 10. And so we're gonna make it so 25 position players and 10 relievers, and then that way you can have 15 players can kind of be whatever the hell the computer wants. Total players on roster is so no, never mind. I do need to specify it. So we are in a non-DH league, so I have to specify. So I have a 6-man rotation, and so then I have to go 15 relievers, and then I'm going to have to go 30 position players, and that will give us 50 players altogether. So essentially, so does that make sense? A 20... I guess in a regular Major League roster these days, you have about a 50-50 split, obviously. So it's either going to be 13 pitchers and 12 hitters, or 12 pitchers and 13 hitters. So, but that's fine. Like, I think we can get away with it. I'm trying to think here. So there's injuries and stuff. All right, you know what? We're gonna go down to 25, and we're gonna change this one to 19. All right, so now we have 50 and 50. All right, total players on roster. So this one doesn't apply to us, but I'm just going to set it so that it matches up. Just if we do involve DHs, allowed two-way players, going to be big in this league, so we're going to need two-way players definitely. Then you can do the hook for starting pitchers. So I'm just going to keep these all defaulted, so you can make it quick to not quick. So I'm just going to keep it defaulted because I do want realistic kind of stats being portrayed here. And these numbers are based off of 1999. So if I was to import 1922, you would see that the hook for starting pitchers would be very slow because there was no reliever. Relievers weren't invented until 1971. So we're going to keep all these at the default options. We have our league totals here. So the league totals, unless you, I strongly recommend if you're looking for a major league style of play, that even if you had a 10-game season, and I would just assume that you would just leave these numbers alone, because you are messing. You're playing with fire here, kid, because one thing affects another thing as everything. So in OOTP, it's all based off of probability and percentages, so that if you're screwing up one thing, the other thing, and you don't offset it properly, then you're going to fuck up the league, and then you're going to have guys that have 418 strikeouts as hitters, but they still managed to hit 129 home runs that season and did nothing else. So I would leave that. Lock it. I don't need to lock it because I will adjust the modifiers each year to keep in that major league thing. And here you just have, these are the these are the stamina. So stamina is a 1, so that's just it's based 1-to-1 ratio, means it's based off of regular year. We're just going to keep everything else. All right, so that is all of the settings, from the global settings down to the league settings. So we've done everything there that we need to do. So our league is now essentially ready to go. You have players and face gen. Again, these were kind of things we specified. We're using the player morale system, etc. I already went through everything here. It's basically just stuff from the main that it automatically did for us. AI settings. So here's our prospects and favoring. Almanac, if you want to, you can create an almanac and just have a stat database, your own baseball reference. That's what this is for. Online leagues. So I am going to enable online leagues. I'll do another tutorial. I'll do a setting up an online league for idiots type thing. So you can always enable your online league, and it'll allow you to do a lot of things. And this, like I said, I don't play in an online league, but I have my own website, ootp.biz/LG reports/ whatever it is. And you can see my fictional league. It's up there. It's for, for all eyes, and I use it when I'm bored at work. And all right, so we're gonna disable that now. Database is also, it just gives you the ability to specify where you're pulling information from. It gives you and it has the ability to take the information from the files here on the left and gives you the amount of information in those files. It's not something that I recommend messing with if you're new. All right, so that is everything. We have created our league. We are ready for the inaugural draft. So I am going to go to the game home screen, and here we can see Stream League. That's the league again. We have the upcoming events, and today is the inaugural draft. So and again, I'm the Blue Hens, but so I'm gonna go to the inaugural draft. Here we have 10 teams. I have the 2 picks. So one thing I like to do first off is, so we're gonna do a SERP draft, a snake draft, so it goes back and forth. So whoever gets the first pick gets the last pick in round 2. And so I am draft with a fixed budget. No eligible players. It's only 470 eligible players. That means that, so there's already a problem with the league that our rosters are not gonna, teams are only gonna have 47 players on each team. I don't know why that's the situation. And before we get started, I am going to draft order, and since it's my goddamn league, one of the few luxuries I will take from people, from the AI, is that I'm going to randomly assign the draft order until I get the first pick. So let's just do that. It shouldn't be too difficult to obtain. Oh, the Jacksonville Gold Miners. Watch out for them. Detroit ain't. I love all these logos. They're all just syncing up nicely. There they are. The Brooklyn Blue Hens. Oh, and my arch rival, the Jacksonville Gold Miners. Second. Los Angeles Legion. Don't like them, but I don't think they're very good. So, all right. So I have the first pick in the draft now. And so here is our draft pool. So let's see. This is all batters. Let's just go to all players and see what we're doing. In this draft, there are, 7 guys who are considered to be Mike Blosser. Is that the Mike Blosser? 7 guys that are considered to be top guys, and they're all like relievers. All right, so and now age is going to come into play here. So I'm only going for the streaming, I'm only going to stream I'm only going to stream like the first pick or something. I don't know that I'll keep on with that, but so let's see here. Again, if you're new to the game and you're like, oh, I can't. Oh, there's the age. I was going to see like where's his age. So you can drag and drop everything with how old the player is. So this also, like our player creation model here has created a 42-year-old guy. Justin Rhodes is not going to be in this league next year, so we're going to have to monitor that as it goes on. Like there is some sort of there is a little bit of work that you have to do in order to kind of like if you have a crazy idea like this, you kind of have to like be on top of things. I take notes, like, don't be afraid to geek out as much as possible. This whole game is basically about being the biggest friggin' nerd you can when it comes to baseball stats, and that's why I love it. My history, I've explained my history before, but my history to playing OOTP was that I had, when I was probably 8 or 9 years old, my parents got me Stratomatic, the board game, for my birthday, and So it came with the 1985 card. So if you're not familiar with Stratomatic's dice game, it's like the baseball version of Dungeons and Dragons. And I replayed that 1985 season. I never got new cards. I got the expanded set off of eBay once, so it added like 100 extra player cards. So I played Stratomatic 1985 year after year after year until I found Season Ticket Baseball 2003 in GameStop and purchased that. And that was like OOTP had 2 years of like actual discs, and it was just relabeled Season Ticket Baseball. I don't know why, but I think it was OOTP 4 was the equivalent. So I have been playing since then, and it was 3 or 4. I'm pretty sure it's 4. But anywho, let's see who we got here. All right, so no one cares about this. Let's get to some hardcore actual numbers. A snapshot, yes, I will save it for the future. All right, show me some ridiculous numbers. Oh, so I'm already screwing Bill Cameron over here. 70, and he's only 23 years old. So, like, it doesn't have the eye I would kind of like. What does he play? Left field. So let's just take a look here. So strapping, not scrappy, and that's. He looks good. He's a good looking dude. So he's got his contract demand. So the contract demand, even though they still have it, doesn't really matter here. So we can just toggle that off, and we can just, so you can do status. He's fine. He's healthy. It does list his injury proneness here, so that's kind of big. And his popularity, I guess, since he's not on a team yet, it doesn't exist. So I'm liking him though. So if I loved him, all I have to do is to just shortlist him, add him to my default shortlist, and then I can come back to him. It's also a great way for, I do this when I trade a player. I will automatically, any guy who has service time on my Major League roster, I will always go to shortlist, and then I have a specific shortlist called alumni, and that way I can just see the progress of all my former players real easily. I would just go to under your manager name, and then you go to player search and shortlist. So here, I'll shortlist Billy here because he was the first guy that ever caught my attention. And then if you drop down from your manager list, search and short list, and there he is. All right, so let's go back and just see what they gave us here for other creators. So again, we're using a 20 to 80 scale. So there's some you only got 20 guys or whatever that can go all the way down to that are 60 or above. So it doesn't look like a contact heavy league. Let's check the power. Alejandro De Leon. He's a beast with the bat. Well, 35 in Ks though, so he's just like, this dude is just, he's donging it or striking it out. One of the difficulties here is that all of the scouting accuracies, because this is an inaugural fantasy draft, are low. So that means that our scout doesn't know anything because he himself was only just generated. All right, so let's see. So, all right, so let's just check the starters real quick. And we'll go all pitchers, I guess. Well, no, because we'll just do starters. We'll give the game has a pretty good grasp on who is a starter or who is not. It's usually based off the number of pitches. So, just remember in OOTP, you need 3 decent pitches to be a starter. Really, if you have a 75 in stamina on a 20/80 scale, which is all, you can pitch for days, but you only got 2 pitches, you ain't a starter. Keep it in the pen, Jen. All right, so Victor Crawford here, 25. Oh my God, 25 years old. So he has a stuff. So on a 20 to 80 scale, stuff means that you are striking every motherfucker out. Like, I don't care. Don't bring your shit to me because you ain't got nothing, no business being here. 75 in movement, which means you are not hitting a home run off him either. So he got the gas, and he's farting all over the place too, because that ball is just going, and you're not getting anything. I'm sorry, folks. Control is 50, so he may walk a guy here and there, but that's, hey, when you got movement like that, that ball's just going all the doo-dah-day across the street and everything. So, and he's a 60 in stamina. He's got a little bit of the gas. Up to 98 is pretty good, especially for a starter. As you can see, he is one of the top flight starters here. He's no Cliff Robertson, but then again, not many are. Cliff is 29, so he's good. Ground ball, the fly ball. He did have an extreme ground ball, which means that he's not giving up any home runs. Let's just get a little makeup of this guy. So he's good. He's got a nice solid chin there, you know. He's 25 years old, just turned 25 too. He has got 4 pitches. What? This guy, I cannot pass on this guy. This guy is definitely going to be the number 1 pick overall. So I'm about to lock it in. So he's going to be number 1. Like, all right, it's too good to pick up. I see at least 6 of you watching right now. So if you got anything to say, now is your chance to speak up, because I am going to hop on that Crawford train faster than you can say. Victor Crawford is my favorite player in the Stream League baseball thing that Swapcast created on this day. So, all right, he is happening. Whoa! Thank you. What was your name there? It was Red Flame. And I don't know why I'm not getting... My Nightbot isn't working. I'm sorry, dude. But I appreciate the follow. Thank you. Oh, there it is. Red Flamant. Flamant, we'll call it that. Again, there's backseating is always encouraged in every Suavecast broadcast. If I'm playing like shit in Call of Duty, if I'm making stupid moves in OOTP, then you are free to comment on that, and it is encouraged. It can't be toxic, I guess, but there can be some stern warnings handed down. So I'm thick-skinned, you know. All right, so anyway, we're just gonna have to go back here and check on the hitters real quick, just to make sure. And then this is our inaugural draft, and this is a very, like, you know, rigid, like, no transactions. We're gonna allow trades in the off season, so I'm gonna have to set a reminder for that. Remember to do that, Self. Okay. But I didn't see any hitters that really like Bill Cameron, like, because he's 23. So, but you know what? If Bill Cameron's there in round 2, we're gonna snag him. I doubt he's gonna be there. What is he? He's only at 3.5. What are they listing these other guys at? Jerry Gonzalez. But again, like Jerry, we all know Jerry. He's established, but he's sick. He's 30 years old. So, all right. So we might be able to get Cameron. I'm not even going to look in round 2 if Cameron's on the board. I'm just going to take him. All right, so here we go. You can always hit this. Let's see what happened. The configure button. Clicking no will continue this game, and this message will not be displayed again. I will click. I'm just going to click that for. Okay, that scared me for a second. I don't want to screw up this. Get back in the goddamn draft. All right, here we go. All right, we're back in the draft. Start draft. First pick again, yep. And scouting, so up here in the top right, just everyone knows this, but if you're new, scouting director recommendation, always good to click ahead. Victor Crawford, it's a match. Whew! Victor, my friend, you have just made yourself the first pick with the first. It's not. I know it's wrong sport, but we'll do. I always used to do a David Stern with the first pick. In the 1999 inaugural Stream League draft, the Brooklyn Blue Hens select Victor Crawford. I don't know where he's from. There it is. And that's a little more fanfare would be nice in the game, right? Like, if they would give us something, but, you know, oh well. We did that. So now, so you can either auto-draft on a individual basis. I always just auto-draft until, sorry, here it is, the giant blue blinking thing. Auto draft until next pick by Brooklyn. So I'll do that. And then, did someone take, no, Bill Cameron's still on the board. All right, so we're going to take Bill with our second pick, no matter what, because we're playing for the future, but we're also playing for today. You're new to OOTP. Well, you picked the wrong person to clue you in on. No, that's not kidding. You did pick the right person, but you're going to get a lot of side banter with it all. So you started last year, but good. It's really awesome, man. Like I gravitate in between for FPS shooters and simulation games, and this has always been my first love. Like, you can go back If you look on the forums, you can do a search for ANDJBOCK, and if select between like 2004, 2006, you will get lots of late night drunken off-topic posts. So just knock that out, and then you can get also good. I have a suggestions thread too in the future versions. That's always good to check out because my suggestions are very boring but very good for the game. All right, I think one suggestion of mine they implemented was to have the ability to switch between teams on the logo screen. So, which was not there, now it's there. I won one for the Gipper. All right, so we are now in round 2, so let's see what the scouting director selects here. He's going for Zach Homeplate Barrack. Well, Zach sucks. Yeah, don't bring that crap. Wow, he really wants us to go with this crappy guy. No, but it gets difficult because you need, you got to start differentiating. Like, do I need hitters more? Do I need... we're having 47 round drafts, so I don't know. Again, I don't know why it didn't happen. But so I'm going. Can Billy hit the paths? Not really. He can play left or right. His proneness is normal because I don't want to draft a guy who's got a shit injury. He's a good guy. He's very loyal. Very high. Let's see if I don't think there's anything else. Like we can request a scouting report. But that's not really going to matter at this point. We don't really have... Oh, so one thing I guess would be smart to do, which I did not do for Victor Crawford because our scout was like, just take fucking Crawford. You can check the OSA ratings. Okay, so So here's the problem. We just ran into a major issue. The scouting accuracy is low. You can get... OOTP is now on Xbox Game Pass? Wow, I didn't realize that. Oh, for PC, though. For PC, gotcha. No. I don't do the Steam version. I just go straight to the eSeller, whatever the modern eSeller is. That's what it was called back in the day. And have it this way now. So, it's so good. You get I don't know if you get access to the beta if you get it on Steam or on Game Pass, but anyway. I'm sorry, I have my tablet over here, so I kind of don't see the text or the chat, so if I miss something, it's nothing personal. I just didn't see it. So anyway, here's the problem. So Bill Cameron, well, my scout thinks he looks good, but my scout has a low scouting accuracy. I don't have my mouse turned on, sorry, but it says scouting accuracy in the summary pane, the third pane over above his speed and ceiling and base running ratings. It's a low accuracy. That means he might not be right. So I also just picked Victor Crawford. Can you imagine if Victor Crawford had a shitty rating? Well, before we do anything, let's just, whoever we just invested the entire future in, we need to see what his OSA ratings are. They're good. Oh my God. Thank God. They're equally representative of what our scout had. So that is good. We lucked out there. Whew! You imagine that one. All right, so now we have to go back to the draft and then continue draft. That's what the green buttons here. You see the continue button all the way in the top right. They came out with the green buttons, what, two seasons ago or 3 seasons ago? So yeah, man, I pre-ordered. It's just like there was a time where I wasn't pre-ordering. I would not even pre-order. I wouldn't even get the year. Was getting it every other year. But at this point in time, it might as well just fucking to go for it. I don't want to miss out. So I'm starting to get hot in here. It's like 70 degrees in Boston today, and I'm wearing a tie and a silly ass shirt. I was going for Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It was going to be my look today. Anyway. All right, pick number 2. So I need someone. So I'm going to click back onto the scouting director recommendation. The scouting director has changed their pick. The other guy was, the Brickhouse guy is not their pick. They should not be altering their goddamn pick. All right, let's go to batters. Contacts. So now we need to, where's the scouting? So I'm going to go to the default scouting association. And oh wait, that's why we were on it, because we were using the other scouts recommendation. All right, so Jason Gallo, he's 33. I don't want him. Nick Tucker. Nick Tucker's pretty good. He's got some nice stats. He's only at first base. He's a leader though. He's got all the attributes that I like. Low scouting accuracy, so he's more of a gap power. Still a good contact guy. I don't know. I think I need someone who's just gonna hit me the dongs. Oh, but that's where Orevic comes in. So John Orevic can play. Well, let's see that's the OSA ratings. All right, so he's 28 years old. All right, we're gonna go John Orevic because I think Bill Cameron. We can still get Bill Cameron in a later round. All right, so let's draft Orevic. So I agree with, so far the scouting recommendations have been on par with what I like. So all right, so now we will oh, and I get 2 picks now. So ooh, should I pick Bill Cameron? I still feel like I've hyped this fictional man up so much now that I need to get him. Tony Martinez. This guy's 25, 26 years old. He's smart. Sidearm ground baller. That's a pretty good guy to. We should definitely, like, a reliever, I guess, would make sense for our third pick. Who's got the gas? Tony Brandini over here. Of course he has just a must. No, he has a beard too. I was gonna say, if I was gonna guess, I would say Anthony Brandini would have just a mustache. All right, Marco Ramirez. Whew, this guy's got some stuff. He's 30 though. That's a pretty nasty. Whenever you see someone who's all blue, you just get swept away into the ocean with those beautiful colors. All right, I'm kind of feeling Tony here. Marco's second. Who else? Johnny Thompson. Anyone named Johnny is my friend. Hello, puppy dog. There's a little dog that's come in here. My assistant GM. Come here. It's my assistant GM. He's gonna help out. All right. Do you think? Should we go with Tony Martinez? Do you think? Kiss me twice if it's Tony Martinez. All right. All right. We're gonna go with Tony. He's our third pick. Again, a little hastily. Like when I do my fictional league, the draft might go by for a couple of days, and I'm just sitting here. But all right, so we got him. Bill Cameron still on the board. I kind of still think we should get him. All right, always click scouting recommendation first. Gabe Sanchez, another starting pitcher. They just really want us to go into the starting pitchers. I feel like starting pitchers are not going to be still valued in this league because we don't need. Bill Cameron's still there. He's the only 70 on the board. He's 23. He could be. All right, we have to. We're just gonna. Actually, let's just see. Is there any like monsters at the plate? Andy Dunlap. Who's got an eye who can hit some homers? Someone who's just gonna. Oh, Bill Cameron's got it. Oh, that's avoiding K. Sorry. All right, Jesse Fairchild. But everyone I can see real quickly is in there. So all right, it's. I think it's obvious. It's Bill Cameron. All right. Oh, he's got a nickname, Beetle. How the fuck can I not see that for? All right, Beetle, coming with me, son. All right, so let's just take a look at the squadron right now. Actually, so what round was that? That was the 4th round. So that was okay. So we're at the end of round 4. So let's just take a look at the squadron real quick. So it's pretty good. So oh, you know what I need to do? This is another trick you got to look for. In your draft, you always got to look for. So let's go here. Oops, sorry. Let's go to the draft and I'll say it. You always have to look for. So we're going to do all batters, but we're going to do pitching ratings because they'll sneak guys in who. Well, you don't have to worry about that here. No batter has a good pitching rating. So what about all pitchers with batting ratings? Do any pitchers have good ratings? Not really. There are no two-way players that are sneaking in here, so. All right, so what time is it? It's 3:20, so I am going to sign off now at this hour, but this was good. So, I am probably, I don't know how much interest there would be in watching me finish this draft, so I'm probably not going to. I'm probably do it offline and move forward. I haven't figured out what the hell I'm doing. I kind of just wanted to showcase the game, but I think I might be streaming this fictional league. But at the same time, like I said, I did have an idea for a different fictional league that did rely heavily on user participation, so that is something that needs to be formalized. But everyone who is here, if you guys wouldn't mind, I want to find someone we can raid. Just so, it should always, as anyone who's a streamer, it's always, like, getting raided by someone is definitely the most bonerific thing that can happen outside of getting a $10,000 donation. So, again, I'll just plug myself here. My name is Andrew. The channel is Suavecast. It stands for Sports, Wrestling, and Video Games. We're killing two birds with one stone today. The sports and video games. If we could ever incorporate baseball, wrestling, video games into one magical activity, that is one. I wish I was a designer, a video game designer. I would create some sort of huge thing that incorporated everything.